Hey everybody, I'm doing a great big water change on my Waterfall tank here, and for once it's not because I'm spraying for aphids. Knock on wood, I haven't noticed any off the top of my head. I haven't really been looking for them, but usually they jump out at me when they're there. But tonight I got in there and I did a little bit of actual cleaning in the tank. We're trying to do a big water change, so I'm really letting the water drain quite a lot before I fill it back up. The water's really cloudy and dirty because I've been stirring up the bottom. I've been doing a gravel vac. I've been trying to get into some of the nooks and crannies with my fingers to stir up all of the debris and swirl it around and get it out of those little corners and hiding places. And there were some really big sheets of the green cyanobacteria. In fact, there's still some growing on this lily pad right here. Let's see if we can pull this off in a big sheet. This stuff is, well, it's kind of coming off in sheets. You can sort of see how it does that. There's a lot of this, big sheets of it on the bottom of the tank. And I was able to just get in there with my siphon and siphon that right up and out. So we got that out. We vacked up a bunch of crud and junk off the bottom. Let me get that off my hand there for a minute. I wiped down the glass. I put a new filter in it, which got the waterfall flowing nice and vigorously again. And I'm just kind of standing here keeping an eye on things. I normally put a little wad of my filter material in the end of the siphon there. I've had frogs and fish go up the siphon in this tank before. In this case, I want it to drain as quickly as possible. It's almost 9:30. I really need to be getting winding the tank room, the fish room down tonight and turning the lights out here pretty soon. And I'm right, in the middle of doing a water change. So I'm trying to hurry it along by not putting the filter in there. At the same time, I'm keeping an eye on it. So while it's draining, I want to point out a couple of things. My daylily flowers are still in bloom and looking great, although at this point they've fallen so far forward they're now kind of in front of the light and you don't really get to see them in the same way anymore, but they still are very pretty. And I actually had to laugh at myself the other day. I've noticed when these flowers come out, they seem to last for one day, and by the end of the day they're gone and dead, and I've got to deadhead the spent flower, and then the next morning I got some new flowers opening up. And I said something to my wife, I can't believe these things only last a day. And then it kind of hit me. Well, they are called daylilies after all. I always thought of it in terms of they open during the day or it's a pretty flower during the day. I don't know why I thought that because there's not too many flowers that open at night. But it just dawned on me that these are called daylilies because the flowers only last one single day. So you learn something new all the time. Another thing I did while we were in here, I noticed that I had some dead growth on this sweet potato vine here. It was a bunch of dead stuff up here, and I noticed the vine is going really taut. And the reason it is, or the reason it was, that one we were looking at was not the taut one. This one here that I've cut is the one that was taut. And the reason it was taut was because it goes down here and over, and I've laid it across the front, and you can see it right here. It's actually started to root in. And so it's attached down here, and then as all this stuff was starting to fall forward, it was pulling on it. And so I think we were getting the dead stuff up here because we've now got roots down on this end. And so I cut it right here, and now that should reverse the flow more or less, and the roots down here will actually start going this way, and it's going to start growing up. And of course this tip that's not rooted in here might continue growing up as well. And then this will now be a second plant up here, completely detached from the other one. And then I don't know where these have made their way to yet. They actually go down through here, all the way down. Okay, this is the end of that other piece. You can see that comes all the way down here. So we'll have to do something with that here in the near future too. Now, of course, while I've been standing here talking about all this stuff, I've not been paying attention to what may or may not have been sucked up my siphon tube there. So that's enough water out of the tank. I don't really need to fill it all the way up. drain it all the way down. I'm not trying to empty the tank. I just want to get a good, 75-80% of that water out of there, and then we'll put some nice fresh water back in it. So make sure you're subscribed, and you won't miss the updates on this tank or anything else I've got. Maybe tomorrow or the next day we'll do a little bit more video of this tank once it gets all cleaned up and looking pretty. So make sure you're subscribed. Don't forget, this one is my Waterfall tank. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you real soon in the next one.